Bickley and Marotta. Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona Sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
It will be a victory every time the Cardinals fail to meet expectations, and they failed on Sunday. They played a better brand of football than anyone expected, particularly on defense, where there seemed to be a deeper hunger and viciousness than we have seen in a while. And you know what they say? Put enough dogs in the locker room, and even the cats start barking, but it wasn't all good. And there's a kindling of a quarterback controversy already lit in the Valley, and that is because Josh Dobbs committed 2 turnovers, and that is not counting the 2 interceptions he should have thrown. He also airmailed a potential touchdown pass to Zach Ertz, and he could not summon any meaningful endgame magic when the Cardinals could have stolen a real victory and not just a morale-building one. In other words, if Dobbs isn't going to protect the football or show his experience in big moments, there's no reason not to play Clayton Tune. And after 1 week at the helm, many Cardinal fans are already clamoring for a change. Now, Dobbs says he expects a huge jump in his own performance next week, and I hope he's right, because while football teams will wait for rebuilding football teams, they have no patience for dink and dunk quarterbacks.
No, I mean, it's still football, right? There's no challenges. You know, natural communication comes throughout the game. Obviously, guys are still getting to know me. I'm still getting to know the guys, and it's different when the bullets are flying. So, but no, there wasn't challenges, right? The challenges are the 11 men across from you and the defense that they're throwing at you. That's the biggest challenge. You're trying to move the ball. So, outside of that, man, we just got to execute a little bit better, clean up the turnovers, and keep pushing forward.
That's Joshua Dobbs after the Cardinals' loss. For the game, Dobbs, if you look at the completions and attempts, you're 21 of 30. Like, wow, not bad. Then you go to that next column, which is yardage.
What do you have, about 310, 315?
132 yards on 21 completions is pretty difficult to accomplish, quite honestly. In the second half, 13 for 18 for 69 yards.
Yeah, going no place fast. And you know, statistically, the Cardinals were worse yesterday than at any point they were last year. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Well, and people want to talk about, and you brought it up in the blast. I mean, there was a lot of talk after the game, like Clayton Tune could do that. Wow, they could have done that with Colt McCoy. Last year, we were talking off the air. I mean, David Blau is no longer part of this organization.
Yeah.
David Blau was pressed into starting duty with the Cardinals in a very, very quick turnaround after coming to this organization. And the circumstances were different because you didn't have the anticipation of the beginning of the year. This was at the end of the year when guys in red and white uniforms were playing out the string. It was quite obvious. David Blau, he didn't light the world on fire. They lost all the games that he played in.
Yeah.
But, I mean, compared to what we saw yesterday, this is it's a very low bar to accomplish what the Cardinals offense accomplished.
What did Jonathan Gannon famously say was going to be the hallmark of this offense? Shots. Pew, pew, shots.
Yeah.
If so, to me, your quarterback has got to be able to drive the football down the field. And Clayton Tune can do that. I'm not sure Joshua Dobbs can. My fear is, and we're going to find out this week, I think, because Joshua Dobbs, I'm quite certain, will still be the starting quarterback in week 2. After that, it's anybody's guess, in my opinion. But I think what I'm looking at here is, was this a move born out of fear based on a regime that had a false amount of confidence in this kid? Because he was around Drew Petzing, and Drew said, okay, at least this kid knows my verbiage, so that's going to help us not look bad. And then Monty Ossenford, okay, maybe we bring in a guy who's got some experience, and we brought him in because we thought a lot of him too, and we know he can handle the moment without freaking out. He might not be great, but he's not going to wet the bed, and everything's going to be, and as a result, we're not going to look that bad.
Yeah.
I hope those were not the parameters for this acquisition, because I wanted to believe there was more quarterback in Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, but the way it's presented, and I don't blame the Cardinals for presenting it that way. We liked Josh Dobbs. We almost brought him in early in the offseason. He opted to go to Cleveland. I mean, logically, this could have been a point going into that third preseason game where, like, Colt McCoy's arm doesn't work. Clayton Tune is not nearly ready. we cannot afford to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
We're not going to win games, but this whole thing
you're
falls
right.
apart if embarrassment happens on a weekly
That's
basis.
exactly right. That's exactly right. So I am hoping that there is more player in Josh Dobbs, and that expecting more from him yesterday was probably unfair, given the fact that if for anybody who knows anything about football, repping plays are important, but the speed at which you rep them are even more important. And if you're a quarterback who has no real live game experience with your receivers, you don't know how everything fits at the proper speed. So you've got to calibrate that. And they had to do that on the fly yesterday, and it didn't work so well. And so the hope is now that they've got that behind them, they can open up the playbook a little more, and they can put something a little more compelling offensively on the field. We might walk away from week 2 going, oh, okay, yeah, all right, now we see what we're looking at in this kid.
Yeah, and it didn't take a Herculean effort from the Washington defense to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it swung on 2 or 3 possessions in the second half.
Yeah.
There was 2 possessions where the Cardinals went backwards. One of those ended in a turnover. Then you had the third turn, or the second turnover was a big difference in the game. Here was Jonathan Gannon, head coach of the Cardinals, talking about Dobbs' performance.
Yeah, I thought he did good. He operated. We had a couple good drives there. He took care of the ball. The last 2 were unfortunate, but that's going to happen. But I thought our operation was pretty clean. He made some throws, operated well. I thought he did a good job.
Yep. Here was Dobbs talking about the defense and had the effect it had on the Cardinals' offense.
It feels good, knowing that your defense is doing well, right? Like, you want to protect the football. You want to keep giving their offense long fields to make them drive it, because our defense is doing a tremendous job. For a big spurt of the game, they couldn't move the ball very well. And so that's what we were trying to do on offense. Not only, obviously, score, right? Especially, we were up 6, trying to make a 2-possession game. So obviously score, but also, when defense gets on the field, make sure, they get to defend 80 yards, not a short field. And we didn't do a good job of that. We gave them 2 short fields in the second half. That's what the game came down to.
This was such an extreme separation between offense and defense. You always talk about complementary football. There wasn't any complementary football, but the dominance that the defense showed for a good portion of the day and the effectiveness on the offense, it reminded me of Buddy Ryan, the Buddy Ryan Cardinals.
Yeah.
Because that defense would just go out and kick sand in your face and beat you up, and the offense was completely unable to put points on the board.
Right. Yeah. Yes, and that became a recurring theme with Buddy Ryan, by the way.
Yeah.
It happened in Chicago. It happened in Houston. Happened here, where the tension was between the offense and the defense, not your football team and the opponent.
Yes.
Wow.
Ask Kevin Gilbride. He'll tell you.
Oh, yeah, he will. He will.
He knows about that separation and the tension between the offense and the defense.
Yes, he does.
And that was in a playoff game. So the Cardinals lose it 20-16, the final score in the opener, as they fall to the Washington Commanders.